Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome to the third part of this lecture, which is the verification of the trigonometric identities. And in this example, also we need to verify the given identities. To mean that we need to show that the left-hand side equal to the right-hand side. And as we did before, we take the more complex side and try to simplify to get the other side. It can be the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Example number 16. We have sine x divided by 1 minus cosine x minus sine x over 1 plus cosine x equal to 2 cotangent x. So the more complicated one is the left-hand side. So I will choose the left-hand side and I will try to simplify it. I have sine x divided by 1 minus cosine minus sine x over 1 plus cosine x. To simplify it, I'm going to combine the two fractions. So this will give me it is 1 minus cosine x multiplied by 1 plus cosine x. We multiply this together, then by the numerator. Then I'll have sine x multiplied by 1 plus cosine x minus sine x multiplied by 1 minus cosine x. And this will give me, for the numerator, we can open the brackets. I will have sine x multiplied by or plus sine times cosine minus sine x plus sine x times cosine x divided by, for the denominator, it is a minus b times a plus b. I mentioned this many times. A minus b multiplied by a plus b is equal to a square minus b square. So the denominator will be 1 minus cosine square. It is a square minus b square or 1 square minus cosine square. For the numerator, I can cancel sine with sine and combine sine x with sine x cosine with sine x cosine will give me 2 sine x cosine x. That would be 2 sine x cosine x divided by 1 minus cosine square. 1 minus cosine square, this one, is equal to sine square using the identity. Sine square plus cosine square equal to 1, or 1 minus cosine square equal to sine square. Now I can simplify. Take sine with the square, then I will have 2 multiplied by cosine x over sine x. And this is equal to 2 cotangent, which is the right-hand side. So it is verified. So the left-hand side equal to the right-hand side. For the next one, question number 17. We have sine x plus cosine x all to power 2 equal to 1 plus 2 sine x cosine x. Let's do it. 17. We have the left hand side, which is given by sine x plus cosine x square. This is a plus b square. Using the identity a plus b square, which is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. So sine x plus cosine x all to the power 2 will be equal to, the first one is sine square x plus 2 multiplied by sine x times cosine x plus cosine square. But we know that sine square plus cosine square is equal to 1. So this is equal to 1 plus 2 multiplied by sine x cosine x, and this is the right hand side. That is done. Verified. So sine x plus cosine x all to the power 2 equal to 1 plus 2 sine x multiplied by cosine x. Next example. We know, or we need to prove that the left-hand side, which is 1 over 1 plus cosine x minus 1 over 1 minus cosine x equal to minus 2 cotangent of x cosecant of x. On the left-hand side, I'm going to combine the two fractions. 1 over 1 plus cosine minus 1 over 1 minus cosine x. To combine them into multiply the denominator together and doing the cross multiplication. So the left-hand side, if you multiply the denominator together, 1 plus cosine x multiplied by 1 minus cosine x. For the numerator, be 1 multiplied by the second denominator will be 1 minus cosine x minus 1 times 1 plus cosine x. This is equal to, for the numerator it will be 1 minus cosine x minus 1 minus cosine x divided by 1 plus cosine times 1 minus cosine. This is a minus b, a plus b. I will have 1 minus cosine square. Now this 1 minus 1 will be cancelled. Minus cosine with minus cosine will give me minus 2 cosine. So this is minus 2 cosine x divided by 1 minus cosine square. This is equal to sine square. That will be divided by sine square, which is can be written as minus 2 multiplied by 1 over sine square, can be written as sine times sine, and this will be cosine x over sine x. So this can be written as minus 2 multiplied by 1 over sine x multiplied by cosine x divided by sine x, which is equal to minus 2. 1 over sine x is cosecant of x. Cosine over sine x is cotangent. And this is the right-hand side. That is verified. That the left-hand side, which is 1 over 1 plus cosine x minus 1 over 1 minus cosine x equal to minus 2 cotangent of x multiplied by cosecant of x. See, next example, number 44. I have 2 cotangent divided by cotangent of x plus tangent of x equal to 2 cosine square. Now the left-hand side for this identity can be written directly as 2 multiplied. Cotangent can be written as cosine x over sine x. Divided by I have cotangent down in the denominator, which is again cosine x over sine x plus tangent is sine x over cosine x. Now I'm going to combine the two denominators down. If we combine them together, I will have, for the numerator, we shouldn't do anything, just keep it as it is, 2 multiplied by cosine x over sine x. And down, if you multiply this cosine over cosine, or cosine times sine and cosine times, I will have cosine times cosine will give me cosine square plus sine times sine will give me sine square divided by sine x multiplied by cosine x. This identity cosine square plus sine square is equal to 1. So I can write it as 2 multiplied by cosine over sine x, all of this divided by 1 minus, or 1 over, not minus, sine x cosine x. And this is can be written as 2 multiplied by cosine x over sine x multiplied by the reciprocal of this denominator. So it will be sine x multiplied by cosine x divided by 1. I can cancel sine with sine, and 2 cosine multiplied by cosine will give me 2 cosine square. And this is the right hand side. It is done. Verified. Number 45. We have cotangent of x divided by 1 plus cosecant plus 1 plus cosecant of x divided by cotangent of x equal to 2 secant of x. For number 45, I have cotangent of x divided by 1 plus cosecant of x plus 1 plus cosecant divided by cotangent of x. Let's combine these two fractions. I will have, for the denominator, it will be cotangent x multiplied by 1 plus cosecant of x. Then cotangent times cotangent will give me cotangent square plus 1 plus cosecant of x all to the power 2. which can be written as cotangent square. If we expand or open the bracket 1 plus cosecant square, it will be a square plus 2 ab plus b square, that is 1 plus 2 cosecant of x plus cosecant square divided by cotangent times 1 plus cosecant of x. And to simplify it, we know that cotangent square plus 1 equal to cosecant square. So I will have cosecant square x plus 2 cosecant x plus cosecant square divided by cotangent of x 1 plus cosecant of x. If we add cosecant square with cosecant square, I will have 2 cosecant square plus 2 cosecant of x divided by 1 plus cosecant of x. I can take 2 cosecant as common factor. I will have 1 plus cosecant of x divided by cotangent 1 plus cosecant of x. This is common factor, can take it out. So I have 2 cosecant of x divided by cotangent. This is 2 cosecant of x divided by cotangent. It means I can write it as 1 over cotan, which is equal to tangent. So this is 2 multiplied by 1 over sine multiplied by 1 over cotangent, that will be sine over cosine. So sine will cancel sine. I will have 2 times 1 over cosine of x, which is equal to 2 secant of x. And this is the right hand side. So it is done. The left hand side equal to the right hand side, and the identity is verified.